Welcome to Splurge or Save. This is the series where I'm going to tell you if you should splurge your money a little bit and buy this game, or if you should save your money a little bit and not buy this game. Today's game is Kirby and the Forgotten Land, so it's more going to be splurge your money a lot or save a lot of your money because this game is expensive, but we're still going to talk about it, all right? Now onto the story of this game. So the story here is that the Waddle Dees were all captured by this group called the Ferocious Beast Pack. And they took all the Waddle Dees, and now you're Kirby, you gotta go save them. And admittedly, this is like a lot of fun because you have to go through the whole levels, basically just finding Waddle Dees to like 100% the game. You have to find all the Waddle Dees throughout all the levels. We'll talk more about this later, but all those Waddle Dees in every level, there's a lot, and some of them are hard to find, so it kind of makes this game a Metroidvania a little bit, and I will say that I do not like Metroidvanias at all, but it's not super bad in this game because it's just like a straight level most of the time. You just gotta take maybe one turn here, and then you'll find some Waddle Dees. All right, this is the video structure part where I tell you about how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do pros and cons, as always, starting with cons. Like I said last video, we start with the bad round here. Then we're going to do pros. Then we're going to do, I'm going to go over all the weapons in the game and like the upgrades and which ones I prefer. And then I'm going to talk about the mini games in this one. And I'm not going to talk about all the bosses, but I'll kind of go over the different kinds of levels. But I don't want to spoil the bosses for you because these bosses are awesome. And I know most people watching this have probably already played this game, but I don't want to spoil any bosses for anyone who hasn't played it yet, because the boss fights really aren't that hard most of the time. The final one is kind of hard. All right, this review is going to be a little biased as well, because this is one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game, so a lot of this game I'm kind of going to just be talking about how much I like it. There are parts that I don't like, though. You'll see. But I will say that like this is gonna be a kind of biased review. And then one of the last things we'll talk about is kind of I know that there's the DLC and the expansion or the upgrade pack coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm gonna talk about that and what my thoughts are on the price that it's gonna be. If by the time this comes out it might change and we might actually know it, because right now it's leaked that it could be $20. But I'm convinced it's going to be 30 because Nintendo likes to get as much money out of us as they can, and that's what they're going to do. But we'll go over that later. First con, that stupid car level, because you have to beat it in 20 seconds on that first time you do the race. You have to beat it in 20 seconds to get the Waddle Dee. I cannot do that. If you can do that, I don't like you, okay? I cannot. You have to do it in 20 seconds. I can barely do it in 22. How am I supposed to do that? Ruin my whole 100% run. The entire thing was ruined because of this one level. I'll never get over it, okay? This stupid level. The next con is that there's certain levels that I just like, I get so lost in and I'm so confused, and I just could not find any of these Waddle Dees or anything in any of these levels. I just get so confused. There's one where like the masks try to pop up and scare you. That level got completely lost, turned around. It was like a trick room in there. Like I have no idea what's going on in this room. But it isn't that hard. Like it's just you have to kind of just find where you're going. All right, this is con number 3. This is my biggest gripe with the game, so maybe I should have put this in number 1 instead of a meme that's just a thing that I dislike. But I'm going to put this here. This is a big con in just general gaming to me, okay? This is something that I dislike just in general with games. The end game giving me the best weapons ever. Why? Why would I want that? Okay, I don't want the weapons after I already beat the game. If I want a weapon that good, I'm going to want it for the whole game. Not even the whole game. At least like the last 2 or 3 levels. But no, they're like, nah, you don't get them till you beat the game. So now I don't have these weapons for the entire game. Like for one of them, you have to beat the post game to get. And then the other one, you have to beat, you have to get the full end credits. Then you get one of them. Then you can go do the post game with this weapon. And then after you do the post game, you get the best weapon in the game. All right, and then our last con that I can think of is that the mini games in this are kind of mid, a little boring. There's that one where you can like get people what they request, like they ask for a tomato or something like that. You bring it to them. That one's okay, but it gets kind of boring. The arena, you just fight bosses. The end game on this is not very good. That's my new rating for this game, by the way, is the end game rating. I don't know if I'm going to call it that at the end because that just sounds like the movie, but we're sticking with it. We're doing the end game rating. And I don't know how this one's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be very high because there's not much you can do end game. All right, on to these pros. This first one is admittedly kind of one of my favorites, but you can upgrade your items and your like upgrades. So you know how you can do like the hammer, what's the wind one? The tornado. That one's the best one in the game, by the way. We'll go over these later, but you can upgrade them and you can make them better, last longer, their effect lasts longer, that kind of thing. And it's very, very helpful throughout the entire game to have these be able to upgrade because as you go, levels get harder and harder. And I know that I kind of talk smack about how the way you have to upgrade them in those levels and how stupid some of them are, but I still think it's awesome that they can upgrade. I just think they should have made some of these levels a little different, or the way that you upgrade them a little different. Pro number 2 is the variety of levels. There are so many different kinds of levels in the way that they look. You got your ice ones, your normal ones, fire, all that kind of stuff like you would normally expect. But in this game, they look fantastic. They play well. One of the best is it's either a school or the mall, something like that. That's the best map. That map is so fun. And the amusement park, even though that stupid car level's on the amusement park, that map is really good still. And I think it's a lot of fun to play this game and experience all of the things that are in this game. All right, so there's only 3 pros for this game. This is the last one, but this pro is like such a stupid one to give, but I can't think of any other pros, so I'm just gonna say this. This is one of the best games I've ever played, and I love this game. So the rest of the game is the last pro for me, is just the entire rest of the game. I love this game, and I think that it's hard for me to pick things out specifically, so I'm just gonna say that it's just the rest of the game. This game is great. If you haven't played it yet, I think this kind of gives away my feelings. Just like my Sniper Elite video, I gave away my feelings way before I got to the end, which I try not to do, but it's hard because this game was important to me and it meant a lot when it came out, and I loved it. And I still do, and I want another one, not a damn DLC, Nintendo. Now we're going to talk about the different weapons or abilities that you can use as Kirby. First, we're going to start with Ice, but I do want to say that the abilities are kind of weird here. So like you can upgrade your ability twice technically, but they are all separate upgrades. So with Ice, there's 3, but you can select the first one, the second one, or the third one. Some of these upgrades are like offset of each other. One's faster at attacking, one does more damage. Some of them it's just better to use the final upgrade. Some of them it's not. But with Ice, you see here, that's the power level on this one is like 1.5 out of 5. The rapid fire, which is the rate of fire, is 1.5. And it's just ice. It like freezes enemies. The higher up it goes, the better it gets. So by the time you get to the last upgrade, which is called Blizzard Ice, it does 3 power damage, and it's 3 in the rapid fire for the fire rate. Next up, we're going to do Needle. This, I believe, is the newest edition, I think. That might be wrong. I don't actually remember. This one is awesome. The Needle ability is really good, especially by the time you get to the last upgrade. Because you roll around as the Needle ability, and you pick up enemies, and then when you release the ability, it just throws enemies everywhere and kills them basically every time. Really, really fun one to use. The first upgrade of the Needle is 1.5 power, 1.5 fire rate. The Clutter Needle, which is the second one, is 2.5 power, 2 fire rate. And the Crystal Needle is 4 power, 2 fire rate. So this one, it's clearly best to get the Crystal Needle, which is the final one. But obviously you're not going to have that right off the bat. You got to unlock that with the 3 rare gems and a bunch of coins. So And that's how you upgrade like every item, is you need those rare gems and coins. I forgot to mention that earlier. Next up is the drill. I'm not going to say if this is new or not because I honestly don't remember. I don't know. But the drill is really fun. You drill underground, enemies can't attack or see you, and then you pop up out of the ground and you can do a bunch of damage. The original drill upgrade, so the first one, that's 2 power, 1 fire rate. The pencil drill and the twin drill are the other two. I would just recommend always using the twin drill, but the power on the pencil drill is 3, fire rate 1.5, twin drill, power 4, fire rate 2. So obviously on this one, the twin drill's the best, but like I said last time, you're not going to have this at the beginning of the game. So, all right, on this one, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. I love this upgrade. Better stay in the franchise. I will be irritated if it doesn't, okay? This is the best upgrade ever. Tornado, you suck them up, you throw them. Very fun, very useful for traveling fast around the map as well. Very useful. Love this ability. The original Tornado, 1.5 out of 5 power, 1.5 out of 5 fire rate. The second upgrade, 3 out of 5 power, 1.5 fire rate. Storm Tornado, the last one, 4 out of 5 power, 2 out of 5 fire rate. Just one of the best upgrades in the game. I just recommend always using this one if you can. This next one is one of the most fun to use and just mess around with, but not really practical. We got the bomb. So the original bomb is actually pretty good. I wish it would have stuck as that because it's very it's very easy and intuitive to use. Not very powerful, obviously. The power and fire rate on the bomb ability is 1.5 both. Power and fire rate are both 1.5. The next upgrade is the chain bomb. This is the one that's fun. So the power rate and fire rate are both 1.5 again, but the more bombs you get in a chain, the more damage and bigger explosion that there is. So it's very weird to use though, so I don't even recommend ever really using it if you don't have to. The homing bomb is actually pretty good though. This one, you throw it, if an enemy gets close, like it searches for an enemy gets close and it goes right to it, blows up. Okay, that one's very good. Power 3.5, fire rate 2.5. The bomb is just something I don't know if I would recommend using though, if you don't really need to. The homing one is really good, but the chain one is just not that great. Fun to use, not great though. Guys, either links on the screen or I'm just seeing things. Okay, we're on the sword. The sword, power rate, 1 out of 5. Rapid fire, which is fire rate again, 2 out of 5. This next upgrade, I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'm going to try, okay? Don't blast me for this. I think it's Giant Sword? Gigant? I have no idea. Why is that the name? Just Giant Sword would have worked fine. Anyways, power 3.5, fire rate 1. The next one is the Meta Knight Sword. This one, it's Meta Knight. Everyone loves Meta Knight, right? 3 out of 5, power, 4 out of 5, fire rate. There is another sword, Endgame. We'll get to that later. I'll explain. But there is another one, and that one's one of the best upgrades in the game. All right, this one was one of my favorites beginning of the game. As I got later in the game, I wasn't really a big fan of it. This is one of the ones that I was talking about that it would be useful to use either one of the last 2 upgrades. It just depends on what you're looking for. We'll start with the original, the cutter. 1 out of 5 power, first one, okay? Rapid fire, fire rate, 2 out of 5. The next one is the Chakram Cutter. This one is really, really fun because you throw it and it takes a while to come back. It like does the silly thing where it like flies around for a bit and then it comes back. That's power 1 out of 5. Not very much power, but that fire rate is 3.5 out of 5. The next one is the Buzzsaw Cutter, which the Buzzsaw Cutter is probably what I would use the whole time, but it would be helpful to have either one. It doesn't really matter. The Buzzsaw, power 3 out of 5, fire rate 3 out of 5. Both are really good. I prefer probably the Buzzsaw, but if you need the Chakram one, use that one. That one's helpful for certain situations, I'm sure. Moving on to the fire upgrade. Now this one is typically like just a good upgrade all around, but I never really use it that much because I like to have fun with the other ones, but we'll go over these stats here. So the power on the original fire upgrade is 1.5 out of 5. The fire rate, 1.5 out of 5. The next upgrade is 2.5 out of 5, and then 2 out of 5 on the fire rate. And then the Dragon Fire, which is the last one, is 3.5 out of 5 power and 2.5 out of 5 fire rate. This upgrade is just something I don't really use, but when I use it, it's always really good. It's just so basic that like I don't always want to use it. All right, next up is the sleep. Now, these ones are stupid, and I don't think anyone likes these besides the plushies of Kirby that they make are cute with these, but the sleep ones are like completely useless and just not necessary at all. I think they like give you full health is basically what they do, or a lot of health, one or the other. So like if you need it, helpful, otherwise not really. Next up is Crash. I've never really understood this ability, to be honest. Like, I obviously know what it does, but I've never really understood why or what the purpose is. But so in this game, there's Crash and then there's Time Crash. Crash has a power of 4 out of 5. You use the ability and it blows up. It's a big bomb. That's all it really is. And it's a single use and then it disappears. Time Crash, single use, disappears, 5 out of 5 damage. This one like slows time and you can use it more than once. And when you hit an enemy, it extends how long it goes, I guess. I've maybe used this twice. In the whole game, I've maybe used it twice. But it was like, Apparently it's really good for bosses, but I never used it on bosses because I didn't realize. Next up is the Hammer ability. This one is another personal favorite. I love the Hammer ability. You got the normal hammer with a power of 2 out of 5, fire rate 1 out of 5. You got the toy hammer. This one is not that great, admittedly, especially compared to the last one, but the power on this is 2.5 out of 5, and then the fire rate 2.5 out of 5. And then you got the wild hammer, which is the last one. This one is awesome. 4.5 out of 5 power, fire rate of 1. So it's very slow, but it does a lot of damage. There is another hammer upgrade, which yet again is another S tier weapon. Also, yet again, it is a weapon that you get when you beat the game, which seems pointless to me in my mind to give me a weapon this good after I already beat the game. Okay, I don't understand it. Even with the other sword upgrade that I talked about earlier, same thing. That one's even worse. I'll explain later, but holy, it makes no sense. Next on the list is the Ranger. This one, last time you'll hear me say this, is another personal favorite. I love the Ranger. This one is awesome. I love the Ranger. Actually, this is probably my number 1 in this game. Like, I love this upgrade. But anyways, so the power rate on the first initial upgrade is 1 out of 5, fire 2 out of 5. The Noble Ranger, which is my favorite upgrade. I love the Noble Ranger. Power of 1 out of 5, but fire rate of 4 out of 5. Then you got the Space Ranger with a power of 4, fire rate of 2 out of 5. And this is one of the other upgrades where I explained earlier how some of the upgrades you can pick between the two and it makes a difference depending on which one you use. This is the main one that you notice that with, but there are a couple others, but this one specifically is really noticeable, obviously. You go from 4 fire to 2 fire. Like, imagine how much of a difference that can make if you can fire a little bit quicker rather than do more damage. So I debated on putting this part at the end of the video because I think some people would consider this spoiler. I don't think it is, though. These are upgrades, and I think it's important to talk about it because it's idiotic. Okay? This is something that I don't understand about just gaming in general, but because it's specifically in one of my favorite games of all time, it irritates me even more, is the Masked Hammer and the Morpho Night Sword. So the hammer has a power of 4.5 out of 5 and a fire rate of 4.5 out of 5. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't look up the Night Sword. I know it's probably the exact same 4.5 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, I would assume, because they're the best weapons in the game, and that's the point, right? Here's how you get them. And if you really don't want to hear it, you can skip it, but you will get them anyways. I just want to inform you of this. You will get them no matter what anyways. So that's why I don't think it's spoiler, because you're going to have to get them. Except you might be able to miss the hammer one if you don't know how to do it. But the hammer, you have to talk to King Dedede by the Coliseum after the end credits roll and you're loaded back in. You go talk to him, he gives you this hammer. Okay? Why? Can we please Nintendo, please explain? I beat the game and now you give me the best weapon imaginable after I already beat the game without it. What do I need this for? Okay? And then the Knight Sword, to get that, you have to beat the post game. What? That's even worse. And people are like, oh yeah, it's the best weapon in the game. Yeah, but you never need it because you already beat the game. All right, now we're going to be moving on to the maps. So recently I saw a TikTok, I think it was, and someone had said that the maps in Kirby were very like different and creative and stuff like that. And I just want to say that I disagree with this very highly. I think that if you look at every Mario game and compare the maps and like what they are to the Kirby game, you'll see that like as I talk about them, you'll kind of see and understand what I mean. But like there are some unique levels and stuff within these, but like the main premise of it, it's not very, very unique, but a couple of them are, and I'll go over that as I go. But I just wanted to throw this out here for everyone. First up, we're going to do the natural plains because it's the first area you'll be in. This is just the simple area, kind of teaches you the game, that kind of thing. Looks nice, just like the whole rest of the game, but not really much to it, not too in-depth, but it adds value. Now on to Everbay Coast. This one is one of my favorites. I think this is the one where the mall map is, which is like the best map in the game. I love the mall area. And the Everbay Coast is nice. You know, it's kind of like a city on the coast and you go through. Very fun. This one's one of the best ones to me personally. I really like this one. Now for the actual best map of the game, the Wondaria Remains. Banger map. Banger. This is where that stupid car level is though, but love this map. One of the best, most unique. This is one of those maps that I was talking about when I said earlier that like I didn't think that they were super unique. This one is, but it's also not. Because if you look at Mario games, like they all try to do some unique things. I feel like if you compare it to like other games, you'll see that like they all kind of have one or two unique area levels. And this would be Kirby's because this one's a banger. I love this area. Next up is Winter Horns, which is the ice area. No one likes ice levels in games. They suck. They're not very fun. Ice is bad, makes you slip all the time. And I don't know why they do that, and they always have to throw these in here. But admittedly, in the Kirby game, it's really not that bad and not very noticeable, unlike every other Mario game, you know, kind of like that. I don't know why I keep bringing Mario up. Maybe because they're both made by Nintendo. I'm going to probably keep saying it. But it's not so bad. It's not really awful. But like I said earlier, not unique, like that guy was saying. No, it's not. This area is not unique because this is very common in Nintendo games. They always do this. Literally every Nintendo game I can think of does this thing where they have different areas with different, like, they're like, oh, what weather can we think of for these areas? And then they do the same one for every game. Breath of the Wild, Pokemon, Kirby, Mario, all have these similar things, but they're based on their own world, but they're still like the same concept. Next up, we're going to do Original Wasteland. I don't know why it's spelled like that. That's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced the same, I assume. Or original. We'll try that. I'm assuming it's just original. This one, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played anything yet for the video, and I want to do this level specifically and tell you that I haven't played it here because this one is so forgettable that I genuinely don't remember this one at all. Like I cannot remember anything about this one. So I'm not really going to talk about it too much, but that's not really a good sign if I can remember everything else after not playing it for like a year, but I can't remember this one. All the maps, I'm looking at them all right now. This is the only one that I can't think of at least one level in. Like I can't think of it. Moving on to Redgar Forbidden Lands. This map, or area I guess, because it's not really a map. Anyways, this area The only thing I remember here, without playing, by the way, is the boss fight in this area is actually pretty good. And that's about the only thing I remember from this area. But I will say it is like a good area. Yet again, it's a fire area, common in all these games, right? Like we were talking about earlier, how it's not original, okay? It's not an original idea to have like a fire level, an ice level, all that stuff. Just saying. I'll stop talking about that now, but all right, these last two are kind of weird, but so we got the Lab Discoveria. Wait, what? Discovera. I'm going to say Discovera. Lab Discovera. This one's just one level, just one long continuous level, but it counts as its own area technically, but it's just one level. This I remember, obviously, basically the end game, very fun. Or, well, the end of the game, whatever. Very, very, very fun. So the last area is technically the post-game, but it's called Isolated Isles Forgo Dreams. This area, very fun, but also the part of the Kirby game that every Kirby game has where it gets kind of trippy and you feel like you're on an acid high. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, and I have no idea where I'm at or what's going on, like every other Kirby game I've ever played. But, you know, it's the end of the game, whatever. Once you beat this, you get that one sword I talked about earlier, by the way. Still dumb. But once you beat this, you get the best weapon in the game. So have fun after you already beat everything, going in and using it again. All right, if you're wondering why I kind of skipped over the abilities where Kirby becomes the car, the cone, the light bulb, that kind of thing, it's mainly because like you really only get to be those in the levels when it wants you to. So there's no point in me explaining them or showing them to you because you'll experience them as you go through. However, I will say that my favorite form is the car. The car is the best. Like, it's just fun, obviously, to just drive around in a Kirby game, right? Like, that's awesome. Except that one stupid level. We're still on this. I still hate this level. But the reason I kind of skip those, like I said, is just because you really only get to be them when you're in the level anyway, so there's no point in me being like, well, here's what this does and here's what that does. Like, you'll figure that out as you play. Moving on to the DLC Switch 2 talk. So I'm a little sad. We know the price now. I was way off. Well, not way off. I predicted 30. It's apparently 20, which is not what I was expecting from Nintendo, by the way. They like to milk us for money, so expecting 30 was probably my best bet. But no, of course, it's the one time I thought I was going to be right. It's only 20. And from what we've seen of it, like, it doesn't even really look that great. My guess is like it's just one whole new world, but it's one of those shattered dimension things. That's what it's called, is shattered dimension. And it doesn't, why do you have to do that? Like, just give us like one of the normal levels. Stop with this like Kirby space shattered dimension. What is this? This is not the multiverse. This is Kirby. And it's like, my brain hurts just thinking about it, and I'm a little upset about that. One thing that I do want to talk about though is, can I buy it separately without the DLC? What if I don't want to spend that 10 extra bucks? Yeah, it's only $10, but $10 is like 3 gallons of gas. What if I don't want to spend that $10? Because it seems like some people might not want that DLC. They might just want the upgraded version of the Kirby game so it runs better, but they're like, I don't want the DLC. That DLC doesn't look fun. Can I separate that? I'm assuming they'll let you, but as of right now, we have no idea. Next up is your favorite part, and it better be your favorite part. We're going to do the bird part. I'm going to show you my bird. They're going to say if you should or should not buy this game. If you haven't seen this, Gigi is my white face cockatiel. He's white. You'll know it's him. Georgita is the yellow one. You'll know who's who, obviously, but that's basically going to be the giveaway of if it's a yes or no. Gigi will nod at you. Georgita will probably attack my camera, so either one, you'll know. And then after this, I'm going to talk to you guys about my thoughts and everything kind of summarized, and then that'll be the end of the video, finally. All right, looks like the bird's approved. Now we're going to do the ranking. This is my second time recording this. The first time it got real choppy. I don't know what happened. But we're going to try this again. Hopefully it works this time. We're going to go with single player, multiplayer, and then pricing, and then end game. That's the new one we're adding. It could be called post-game for other games, but this game already has a post-game, so it's called end game, because I'm talking like after the post-game here. So single player, 5 out of 5. I think that was clearly obvious by my opinion of this game this whole time, that I was going to give it a 5 out of 5. It's just a great game. You need to play this game. I'm telling you, you need to play it. It made me like, I'm obsessed with Kirby now, mostly because of this game. My Joy-Cons on my Nintendo Switch OLED are Kirby Joy-Cons, custom painted too, and they're fantastic. Well, they just look nice. They actually don't update, so they kind of suck, but they look nice, all right? That's all that matters. Next, we'll do multiplayer. Multiplayer is a 2.5 out of 5. That's a new rating here. I've never done a half before, but it's because like it's not like the worst thing in the world, you know, but it's not great. It's just meh. You know, I'd play it with a younger brother who wanted to play Kirby or something. I don't know. That's probably what I do with it. Then we're going to go to the pricing. So we're going to do two separate kinds of pricing points here. We're going to do the Nintendo Switch 2 version and the original. We'll do the original first. The original was $60. That's a good price. Great price. Nothing I can say about that. We'll give that one like a 5 out of 5, whatever. I mean, it could have been cheaper. That would have been nice, but what do you expect? Then we're going to do the Switch 2. For me, the Switch 2 pricing, if you cannot separate the DLC out for $10, then it's a 4.5 out of 5. And if you can separate it, it's a 5 out of 5. Because I think that you need to separate it because people might not want that DLC. Okay, now we're going to move on to the end game. End game here, I'm going to give that like a 3 out of 5. There's not really much to do once you beat the game. These little mini games aren't that fun. Apparently you can fish. Like, yeah, oh, great, let me go fish as Kirby. That's what I want to do, you know? After you beat this game, there's really not much to continue doing, so that's why I'm giving this like a 3 out of 5. Not really that great, but there's something to do, at least, if you're really that into this game. So my thoughts on this game are that it's fantastic, obviously, like I said. It should have won Game of the Year it came out. I don't remember what won Game of the Year that year, but it should have been this. I don't care what it was. And honestly, like, it's just one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm obviously going to sit here and tell you, you know, it's a great game. You should go buy it. I think you should splurge a little bit on this one and buy this if you haven't played it yet. I think you should, especially if you own a Nintendo Switch. Like, this is one of those games that's like Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros, Mario Kart. I wouldn't say Animal Crossing is on that list because I hate Animal Crossing, but all those games are on this list of games that you like have to play. And so I think it's important for me to get here and tell you guys this before it comes out for the Switch 2. For those of you that haven't played it yet, I think that this is going to be the best way to play this game. The Switch 2 version is probably going to look fantastic. I don't know if you're going to be able to separate it, like if you don't want the DLC or something like that. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to separate that. I hope you can, but I don't know. But I'm probably going to buy the upgraded version with the DLC because that'll give me a reason to go in and use that sword that I just realized that I unlocked, and I must have stopped playing the game as soon as I unlocked it. Please, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I would like it if you subscribed, left a like at least, you know, and if there's anything I missed in the comments that's super important, please let me know. I really want to make sure that these are as accurate as possible for you guys because this is important to me, at least, to make sure you guys know all the information. So if there's something that I missed, please make sure to let me know and I'll throw it in the next video. And I think next, there's a couple games I have in mind. I'm not going to tell you the next games from now on because there's a couple I have in mind, but I'll pick, you know, it'll be something random. You'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Please come back.